There's something you are saying about the year 2016. You have grown your own maize here. You have done your own silage. You're explaining how difficult that was.
Mm-hmm. Yes, so what happened is that in 2016, we grew our own maize. And we got machines. We were told that these can make quality silage, machines that will chop it quickly and will, move us faster into making the silage. But that was not the real story. Chopping it, bringing it from the farm to here, carrying it because the farm is just down here, but bringing it all the way upside here, cutting it, labda steam imepotea, tunatumia kama ni ya diesel, kama ni petrol.
Which is this machine that you bought?
We had some of them just choppers, different choppers that you get from some of these suppliers. We will use choppers that either kama ni ya stima unapata inafika pahali moto inakuwa moto, stima inapotea, ama kama ni ya petroli, it vibrates so much, it breaks up. And so you'll have a lot of wastage of silage. Unapata like kama ni 1 cube ambayo tunataka kuweka maybe 10,000 kilograms, tumeweka maybe 2,000 na machine zote zimeharibika. Sasa inabidi kwanza kutengeneza, tukikuja tunafungua kisha kuwekelea juu. In the end, by the time we are finishing it, that silage is not decent. Ile siku tutafungua yote imeoza. It's not good quality. And there you go.
So at that 2016, making silage was a big challenge.
Big challenge. Although now you can see we are in the right direction. We know that we need silage. So that's when now...
But how to is a challenge.
Yes. So by keeping on talking to people, discussing with people, then we now came to realize, kumbe there are people who can come and do this for you, or there are people who can do it, you can outsource it, inakuja ikiwa imesiagwa, those type of things. Now, and then also the quality. Kama imekatakatwa na tractor, why it is so good ikiwa ndogo hivyo, why it will be more nutritious, kwa nini haitaharibika, more compaction. All those things, I think we had to go through all that for us to be who we are today.
Now, there's something much interesting you have talked about. From the silage making, it's getting rotten, a lot of spoilage, the chopping quality is not good. But I'm assuming from that Christmas that you had to go all the way to Rongai looking for hay. And you have to use warm water, you have to add molasses to soften it. Now at least you have silage. Though not good quality, at least it's better than that hay.
Yes.
So the production indeed is increasing.
Yes, it is.
Are you still focusing on just the school? Or you have an alternative market?
By now we started, we got neighbors, many people started building, and they will come and ask, do you at the gate, at the school gate, will you people have some milk some excess milk for selling? And so we saw this may be an opportunity. And being in an ASAL place, an arid and semi-arid land, we have dairy farming is not very common. So that's a gap that you can work with. But the reason why it's not common is that how difficult it is to do it. So if you train yourself and you know these are the limitations that this gives me. I know my Frisian cows are not in Kinangop, they're not in Nyahururu. There is a limit to what they can do. So I accept that. And I said, we'll work with that. We'll work with trying to get the best out of them. And now that's when we started now doing dairy farming. But I think we were refining the model to be an arid and semi-arid land model.
So at this particular year, the milk prices and the demand that is being created, the inquiries about milk, it became a big drive. Yes. That you could see this is now is a big opportunity. Definitely,
because in agriculture, whether it is dairy farming or whatever, I think the rule that we always, or maybe the guideline that we always want to keep by is you work backwards. Do you have market? Work towards, like people think, even how much we see like production is a challenge, you cannot compare it to lack of market. Ukitoa hapa hivi lita 100 kwa shamba yako uende na upate kwamba cooperative wamesema maziwa yako hawezi chukua. Where do you go? And maybe all your neighbors are farmers. And tomorrow you have to milk again. You understand? So you can imagine that's because you have had milk gluts in Rift Valley and places like that, where unasikia watu the cooperative inasema we can't pick more milk than this.
Ask me about Nyandarua. Yeah?
You see? And now what happens to those farmers? And imagine you are told per farmer maybe you'll pick 50 liters and you're producing 200.
In Nyandarua, I have witnessed farmers feeding milk to dogs. Until when dogs see milk, they start to run away.
Exactly. And so agriculture always, mainly we need to reverse engineer it, This market. I remember seeing sometimes somebody saying, I have 5,000, 10,000 cabbages. I need market. And you know, my query there with all the experience now that I have is, you know, like, where was the market in the first place? If I have like 2 acres of butternut squash, where have I seen that market for me to grow that amount of butternut squash? I as I said, kufika hapa tumepitia mingi, because we even had, there's a time that I used to do horticulture. We had a horticulture license, and we would take produce to the big supermarkets, and again we would come with like a whole pickup of okra, karela, things that normally you will not find in the market. We take to the supermarket and they say, oh, today we'll just take maybe like 10 kilograms. Then narudi hapa hivi Mlolongo Syokimau na 60 kilograms za karela. Watu wanauliza hii ni nini? You come back with it, feed your cows look at you, they don't want it.
In this year 2016, how many liters were you producing and how many liters was the school consuming?
Ideally, we were much.
And also the students' population.
In 2016, I think we had come up to about 250.
The students.
Yes, and we were producing about 120, because I remember when Willie came, like about 2 years, I remember us standing at the gate of the dairy farm and talking about us hitting 170. So it means we were not yet there. And then now, so we now started working from that now. So it's, every time it was always going up. But I think 2016, 17, 18, major struggles I had was feed. Because the cows, the population grew, and I couldn't feed them. And it was expensive. And I tried growing the food. It was like a hole, a sinkhole. The more I fought it, the more it would go down.
I remember us having some discussion some time back with you, and you will say the attachment that time was on another level. Any animal I have that has been calved in the farm, I have to maintain it.
Yes.
No matter what.
Yes.
Either the animal is producing 2 liters or 1 liter, I have to maintain that cow.
Oh yes, I mean, like we maybe call it emotional farming or something. Calves that we've brought up. I had some calves. I remember that calf was born. I gave it my late mother's name, and didn't really know how to grow it well in terms of rear it well to become a good cow. So after she gives birth, maybe 2.5 years later or 3 years later, it produces 4 liters, 5 liters, still hanging on to the cow, because, you know, like, you don't want to lose that.
So this attachment has been a very big challenge for you.
I think so. And as the dairy farm grew, one of the things that we had to teach ourselves is now look at it business-wise. You know, I think when a dairy farm is growing, is part and parcel. Iyo ngombe, you know, like the cows that you have, they are almost part members of the family. But when it comes to maybe afterwards, when we now talk about it being a business, it becomes now more of like, you have to look at it from a business angle. Yeah.
There's this particular year that you uprooted the whole napier, you did maize. That was still in 2016.
Yes, that was around that time when, you know, I read about sunflower, read about all these, you know, desmodium, you know, all those different types of plants that can give me excellent protein. But you see, in the end, what I ended up having was very little, what can I call it? Very little fodder, good quality, yes, but kidogo sana. So cows tunaweka chakula 6:30 asubuhi, 7:15 hakuna kitu. And now that's when I came to realize, yes, unaweza kuwa kama kwa nyumba tunataka kukula nyama, lakini piece moja. Si afadhali nikuwe na madondo plate mzima.
That's very true.
So that's when now we started now changing that thought, that angle, that line of thought. We said, apana, we probably need to have more food that we can grow if it is what we are growing reliably, vizuri sana. And if it is what, and then buy what we can't grow.
I like giving this a good example that you have one plate, which is enough for one person. Mm-hmm. Then you get a visitor. Mm-hmm. You have to share that one plate. Mm-hmm. Remember, you are hungry. Mm-hmm. So if you are 2 of you, iko kale kadogo kakushikilia tumbo. Then you get the third visitor.
Yes.
You have to eat from the same plate.
Yes.
You get the 4th, the 5th, the 6th.
Yes.
So it means you'll only get 1 tablespoon food.
That's exactly what happens.
So the moment you get that one, you will be hungry.
Yes.
Your productivity will go down. This is the same problem that you created in 2016.
By having many cows.
You have so many cows.
Chakula kidogo.
Chakula kidogo.
Hata kama ni nutritious aje, ni kidogo. And a problem that you also find there is that now when cows are underfed, again, problems, health, breeding. So you'll have ng'ombe, they will not conceive, issues of production iko chini. And you know, so no matter how good the feed that you have, if it's not adequate, you'll still have a challenge with that.
Any move that you are making had its own set of challenges.
Yes.
How did you tackle this set of challenges whereby you are underfeeding your animals, you have a very big unproductive herd?
I think in essence, what you are doing is that we kept learning all the time. All the time it's learning. Every time there's a new set of problems, every time we try and, you know, like you solve this, you open something up. You see, you are looking for something like breeding. Tunataka ng'ombe wengi. Tumenunua bull. Ng'ombe zimezaliwa mingi. Wapi chakula? Oh, tumetafuta chakula. Sio quality mzuri. Oh, tumetafuta quality. Si ya kutosha. So all the time it was that problem. And until, you know, and sometimes I think also it comes with a lot of sacrifice, because as I said, we will strip down all our accounts, have nothing in the pocket to rectify that problem. Because either niuze ng'ombe ama nitafute chakula, pesa ya kununua chakula.
The scenario that you are in 2016, it's what most of our clients are going through. And what most farmers are going through. They have a very big, they have a very big piece of land. They have a very huge herd size, but the productivity is very small. How did you maneuver that challenge? What are these measures that you really had to put in place?
Back again to the issue of feed types. Once I realized about proteins and adequate energy, and we started realizing like we need this amount of feeds in good numbers, then we started saying, what can we grow and what can we outsource? Obviously, as the herd has grown, we've outsourced more. And the percentage of what we grow becomes less and less. But when we look at it in terms of economically, it makes sense. But always what was at the back of my mind and what I will share with my people was that mimi kile nimeambiwa ni kwamba hiyo traffic ikuwa empty inamaanisha kuna ng'ombe kuna swali na hajajibiwa.
I like asking these you know, at Dairy Networks we do a lot of trainings, and most of the time I'm the one who does those trainings. So I like asking this very stupid question. You have the mama there, the mother in the house has prepared a very nice meal, but upon putting it in the dining, within 5 minutes everything is finished. Everyone is like, that mother doesn't need to be told these people aren't full. Actually, just walk out and go to the to the kitchen. Anytime this mother will serve food and everyone taste, and then I go like, the next thing we'll ask, oh, was that food good? Then people will give their reviews. But anytime you'll serve and see everyone has enjoyed that meal and there's a remnant there, she doesn't have to ask, was it good? Automatically.
Yes.
Are you full? Automatically there's an answer. This aspect that you understood, the trough has to be full, and you uprooted your napier. You are doing a lot of trials. Are there measures you did back in the shamba to ensure that trough is full?
You see what now we did, that was now we had to napier. I give napier a lot of respect because I know what it means for my farm not to have napier. The problems we had. Napier, especially for cows that are growing, calves, heifers, dry cows, napier helps a lot because it reduces the stress of the feed that you buy as silage being fed to cows that are not being milked. So we had to bring back the napier. And on top of that, then we started now growing a lot of our maize. Make sure that the maize, that we can have fresh maize to supplement the silage that we are buying. By doing so, we started now seeing that the more cows ate quality food, as we have said now, for us, the food that we can easily grow here is maize and napier. And but in not adequate numbers as per the cows that we have. So we will supplement what it's for supplementing what we are buying. But the more we could get that type of feed, and the more in good quantities, we saw the cows, the health problems went down. As the cows got more healthy, the challenges with health, the challenges with breeding, zikaanza kupotea. And so we knew we were on the right track now. So farmers who are struggling with the issue of feed, farmers need to know that, first of all, feed and fodder again, not concentrates, not things like dairy meal, things like maize jam, but feeds themselves, the fodder. When cows eat adequate amounts of good quality fodder, they maintain a good body condition, they are healthy, and many of the problems you suffer from get reduced. So what you need to ask yourself again is this: do you have enough fodder for for your cows, or do you need to replace a little bit? Do you need to remove a little bit of the ones you have? If you can't feed them all the time, then maybe you might want to drop a little bit. Kama ziko 10 na chakula haitoshi, turudi 5, tuone kama itatosha, tuipeleke pole pole, then let the farm grow. I think that can help a little bit better.
So 2016, now you have gone back to napier.
Yes.
Actually, I like saying there is no dairy farming in Kenya,
yes,
minus napier.
I am
especially if it's not a rain, especially if it's a rain-fed agriculture.
Yes, yes, yes.
So now you have napier. We have sorted out the issue of the trough being empty all the time. Now it's trough having fodder all the time.
Yes.
Now, from your silage bankers, there's something very interesting you told us. You normally outsource that silage.
Yes, yes.
Which year did you start outsourcing that silage?
I think that was back in 2018, late 2018. And I think since then we had calm. We always, because we could not grow enough as per the cows that we were having. So by outsourcing, we did, but we still had to do the economics, because syokimau is very far off from where people grow maize. So if it is harvested, chopped, and transported, when it comes, the price per kilogram, are we able to return that from the milk that we will sell? Because now, once we start talking about buying fodder, obviously it's for milk that has to be sold. So we had to do that economics, and once we saw that, yes, kuna vile inaingiana, and now we started trying. So every year since then has been trying to grow it in the same proportion. One of the things that we have done is that once we settled on the right type of feed, we know what we buy and what we grow, and we've always tried to stick to that. And I encourage farmers to try and get a model that works and give it a chance to work. So if your model is some napier and some sweet potato vines and some little bit of fresh maize from the farm, give it time to work. How do you don't collapse it by adding 10 cows to your farm and all of a sudden it's not enough, and then you have to look for other things. Give it time to work. Give the model that you have a chance to work. Don't pick anything from hearsay, from gossip, and come and add, try and make more. It sometimes doesn't work like that.
When you say give a model chance to work, like for how many months or week or days do I have to give that model that chance to work?
I don't think like you can be fair to a system. If you have done, first of all, you need to give good research so that at least you can know that what you are trying to experiment with can work. Then after you've done your research, what you get, at least give it like some 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. Persist with it. For us, the current model, we persisted with it from 2018 around late November to almost 1 year. And we could see, but we could keep checking on the science. We see these cows, they're in good body condition, they're coming on heat at the right time, they are calving down without much problems, and things are going on better. Yes.
Which year did you introduce the sweet potatoes?
The 2016, when I removed the napier, it was the sweet potato vines. And so, as I was telling you, again, very good quality fodder, but a problem with quantity. Very good quality fodder, but quantity was a problem. So that was where we were.
Which year did you introduce the pineapple pulp?
That was 2019.
2019.
Yes, and that was to supplement the energy, and I think we got some decent levels of energy from it, and I think that has helped so far kind of like give. I think it has been what I call now my mixed grill. I buy silage, I buy pineapple pulp, and then I grow fresh maize, I grow napier, and I grow some sweet potato vines. I combine them. And that is what we feed from 1st January to 31st December.
There comes the year 2020. That's when you met the dairy networks.
Yes, yes.
Again, it was a referral from Willie.
Yes, actually.
A very much appreciated guy, a veteran in this industry. What were these challenges you are going through in that year?
I think that time, again, feeding was good. The mineral part was very difficult. Many of the minerals in the market, we are having challenges in terms of like the heats were not well manifested. Issues like rates of conception were not very good. Issues like problems associated with like calving down, like metritis, retained placentas. And so I talked to Willie again and said, I have this problem now. My cows are big, my cows are eating well. And it's like every time that I finish one problem, I'm told, on to your marks, get set, go for this another problem. So nikamwambia kwani haziishi? Kila wakati tunamaliza shida, ulikuja tukaongea mambo ya chakula, tukaongea mambo ya breeding. Now my cows have a problem, and then he said, let me give you a number. That's when I was introduced to dairy networks. And I think since then, now that's when we started solving that part. Remember, Willie said proteins, energy, water, fiber, minerals. And I remember I asked him, how do I know the levels of minerals that I will need from my fodder? He said, always assume your fodder has no minerals. So you don't, usibahatishe kwamba unaweza sema hiyo ng'ombe iko na chumvi. So nikatoka kutoka kwa ile tunaitanga munyo. Zile zote hizo zote machumvi zile ambazo we will have so many. I still keep some in my store. I keep one huge block of munyo in my store to remind me where I've come from.
I remember by the time we met, I have known you as a person who likes protocols. I remember you had those protocols of having a guy in the morning, checking on the valve, whether there's a discharge, the daytime again.
Yes.
Are you still in those?
No. You see, those was issues of like not good manifestations of heat, silent heats, and all that was coming about simply because of the problem of that the cows are not having good minerals. So that's why we kept doing those type of things. But right now, we don't have that.
Conception?
Very good. I think the dairy farm has grown. As I said, now I think we're approaching the 60 number. We're almost at 60 now. And every year we almost add a quarter. So actually this year we're about to, maybe even this month or end of the month, we'll be breaking ground for another shed of maybe about 60 more cows.
You want to do 100 and something?
Yes. Because at least
you're more motivated.
We now know that what we are doing. We know that we have also created a name for ourselves. We have milk and milk products that we make that our customers believe in. And even from a small way, pole tumejijenga jina. And so we can see that there is somewhere where we are going. Again, we have tested the market. We have seen the market of what we have. And so we have confidence of where we are going.
Talking about the milk products that you have, what are these milk products that you have?
2020, when during COVID, my wife taught herself how to make yogurt. She did some vanilla yogurt. She brought to us, me and the kids, and we tested and said, this is very nice. And she said, she gave to her friends. Her friends said equally, this is very nice. And so I said, maybe you might want to make a little bit more. You see if maybe our neighbors might like it. And we moved from making 1 liter, 2 liters to your friend to now bulk. And now we make bulk now.
Are you ready to share on how you prepare your milk? Because I know the last time we covered how you do your milking up to the point that the milk was received by another team. Can you be so much willing to share with us how you prepare?
Well, yes, I can show a little bit of what everything goes on. It's usually not very different from what everybody does, but I think it can help somebody just understand what it means about just making sure that your milk is safe and that it's good and ready for the market.
As we continue with your journey, we can have a walk.
Yes.